Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using papers and embellishments from the Lake Life collection from Bella Blvd, and then a couple of embellishments from Teen Vibe Carson from Bella Blvd. So I have these two photos here. I'm just going to stack them right on top of each other, leaving a white kind of border around each of the photos so they each kind of stand out from each other. And then I am actually going to mat this again. I'm going to choose a brown, which is not really like me, but the pattern paper that I choose to use has a little bit of brown in it. So that is why brown was the color of choice for this mat. I am going to end up using a pretty busy pattern paper behind these photos, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough border on either side of it. So what I'm going to end up doing is cutting it in quite a wide strip, and then I'm going to dovetail both ends. So my photos will sit right kind of in the center of this paper. So I learned this trick, I believe, from, Stamp Booker. Is that what her name is on? I don't know. Michelle McCants, I think, is her name. Where you make a cut up the middle from either side, and at least you know that that is right in the middle that way. Does that make sense? So I use my paper cutter to trim up just a little bit directly in the center of either end of the paper, and then I used my scissors to kind of cut the dovetail then. So once I have that done, obviously I wanted more color. I wanted this to stand out a little bit more because it has a white background on the pattern paper. It kind of blends in too much with my white background paper. So I decided to cut a couple of strips of this green paper. I didn't want it to go the entire length of the paper. I kind of wanted it to look like another layer underneath of the pattern paper. So I did trim it down just a little bit, and then I'm going to place that on either side of this big paper here before I get to embellishing. The layout really came together pretty quickly, especially the base. We are just about done with putting the entire base together. Obviously, this is sped up, but I want to say this entire layout only took me 25 or 28 minutes. So less than a half hour to complete this layout. And you know what? I am really trying to get some of those older pictures scrapbooked. I have some, I think, from still 2021 that I am struggling to find the motivation to scrapbook. When I started scrapbooking, I only did scrapbooking in chronological order, and over the years I have gotten away from that, and yeah, I'm struggling to get the motivation to go back. And I am finding I printed way too many pictures back then. So there are some that I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's worth scrapbooking. I don't need that many. So I am kind of even picking through what I printed back then. So a couple of the pieces I had already picked out from Teen Vibe Carson. So those are on the layout already. Kind of that four-wheeler, the keys, and the awesome at the top. Spoiler alert, the only one of those three pieces I'm going to use is the four-wheeler. And then I kind of bring in some of the Lake Life embellishments. I did get my title in my stash. It's foam. I don't even know what designer. I mean, I think it's American Crafts, but I don't know what collection or where it even came from. It's just been in my stash a while. But being that it's kind of for the boys album, I thought that hashtag awesome was perfect for this layout. And so I got that used up. I didn't really ever think I would use the hashtag on a layout, but it just seemed to work with this one. So here's where I kind of go into the Lake Life collection, the embellishments, and really try to find some layering pieces to kind of go with my photos a little bit better. You know, being that we're kind of on, I don't know, I think we call it a Ranger side by side. It's outdoorsy. And so the Lake Life was perfect. I just kind of had to figure out how to, I don't know, add to these clusters. So you see I took away the tab at the top. Instead, I'm going to use that little explore, I guess I still want to call it a tab. But I'm really trying to figure out, there's so many good phrase stickers. So how can I use these phrase stickers in these clusters? And unfortunately, a lot of them were just too big. So now I'm going into, so I think the other one was like the titles. Now I'm going into like the icon. And this is where the clusters really come together. So I added a cluster of trees down behind the four-wheeler at the bottom. And as I continue to go through the embellishment, I found the lake house. This is at my aunt's cabin. And so I thought, you know what, that's kind of perfect. The lake house, I kind of like that. I did, while I was doing it, think it was kind of weird to put it at the top, but obviously the ATV is just so large at the bottom. There wasn't really another place at the bottom to place it, so at the top it goes. Other than that, I don't know. This is probably what took me the longest, is really trying to hone in on my embellishment clusters. So with the Lake Life collection, I have the chipboard, I have the sticker sheets. So I don't know. I was really just trying to figure out what to add, where to add it to really finish off these clusters. So I did find a Fun Times arrow, and luckily it was pointing in, and so I could add that to I guess my title cluster, if you want to call it that. I just knew I wanted something else over there as well. So just trying to find that perfect something. Took me a while, but I do really like that arrow. I did find a yellow fun heart, and so I did pop that up on some foam tape at the bottom, and then just finishing up the cluster at the top. I did end up kind of going into my stash. I have these Bella Blvd phrase stickers. I had gotten them at Tuesday Morning quite a while ago. But the one thing I'm learning about Bella Blvd is that her collections color-wise match really nicely. So I had no problems mixing and matching the Teen Vibe and the Lake Life collection. Even the One Fall Day collection, I can kind of see like the same green color in that. And then I think, you know, some of her more girly collections, like the Scrapbook and the Teen Vibe Caitlin, like I think those colors all match as well. So I am really enjoying kind of being able to mix and match. And so I did find a couple of phrase stickers in that Bella Blvd pack. And so I added those under the Fun Times arrow. And then kind of to finish off, there were, I think they're lightning bugs, fireflies. I call them both. So I'm curious, what do you call them and where are you from? Because I've seen where different parts of the country call them different things. To me, they're interchangeable, but you know, and even though I think they are lightning bugs, and this is daytime, I still decided to add them because I thought they were cute. And so I did add one to each of the clusters, and then I decided to add a butterfly to each of the clusters. So I did kind of pick different colors that are in the collection, and luckily there were 3 just really great colors. So I did pop those up on foam tape as well. But I think that is just about going to finish off this layout. I'm looking at the layout and I don't see anything else that I really add, but I will definitely link both the Lake Life and the Teen Vibe Carson collection down below if you are interested in either of those. I am just loving both of these collections. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.